Hello and welcome in to another episode of Rolling with My Special Friends. Today, it is something special to me to get to reconnect with this young lady. We've had several things we've done together over the years, and I just have been a great inspiration to me to be able to watch her go through what she's done in her last few years of life. She's currently a member of the Auburn University ski team, water ski team, as well as the United States disabled ski team. And she's also a current student at Auburn University about to graduate from there. And Miss Sarah, how are you doing today?
I'm doing great. How are you?
Oh, doing just fine. Now, I know a lot of people, right now are scratching their head of like, okay, who is this lady? And he's just announced that she's a member of the United States disabled ski team. Tell us about that team.
So it's a group of people around 14 of us annually that every other year between nationals and worlds. So they're on and off. They're not every single year. It's MP1 to MP6, and then there's blind skiers and arm and leg amputees. So MP1 would be quadriplegic range to MP6 would be somebody that has most function, can walk, can use both of their arms and a little bit of their legs. So I'd be considered an MP6. We 3-event water ski, and we compete for the country to medal and compete against other countries in water skiing.
Okay, well, now that's really cool to know of the different divisions. I guess that's a good word to use for that of like you said, of somebody being a quadriplegic versus a paraplegic versus other things. What kind of, so people out there know, what kind of medical condition, like what group do you involve in, or like what division are you in?
I'm in the MP6 category, so that's multiple paraplegia. Like I said, it goes all the way up to quadriplegic. That's the MP1. So it's very similar if there's anybody listening that's involved in wheelchair basketball, very similar ranking in terms of that. Categories kind of narrowed down from most involved disability to least involved, I would say. But you can participate any age range, as long as you go to a nationals and you compete. There's people that decide whether you're going to be on the ski team or not, and that's how you. It's totally unbiased. So you ski, and then it's determined from there if you're going to be on the team or not.
I got you. Okay, so it's pretty well then. Sounds like it's a normal thing that you got to get out there and compete for and be able to qualify for, and really to be able to represent this country. I think that's a great honor in itself that you've been given that chance to even participate in that.
Yeah, it's an awesome sport.
Oh yeah, I've watched some of it on TV before, and really now that I know some people to be pulling for, I want to go watch it some more and see how you compete as the years go along. Tell everybody out there listening, there's a unique story about you that is just jumps off the page at me, really, that a person that actually operated on you one time as a neurosurgeon. Can you tell everybody who that is?
Yeah, so in 2002, Dr. Ben Carson, who was working on the under President Trump, he was under the HUD, Urban Housing and Development. He actually operated on me for my detethering in 2002. And so he was one of my surgeons.
Wow. Now of all guys, that guy right there has got a lot of things behind him and a lot of people that pull for him of all the amazing things he's done in his life. And, you're just another example of that, of what he done to help you out. And now the things you're going on and doing, it's almost just a blessing to have that man on the earth.
Yeah, he was a great neurosurgeon. From my parents tell me, obviously I was too young to remember most of that at the time, but through his book and through his life, amazing man and amazing doctor. Absolutely.
Oh yeah. Now we told everybody that you were currently a member at Auburn University there, enrolled and about to graduate. Can you kind of tell us about the majors, what you got going on? Because I know there's multiple levels of that major there of different things you're involved in. So kind of tell us about school.
Yeah, so I'm about to graduate. I'll be graduating in May with a bachelor's of science. I'm in a liberal arts major. It's called interdisciplinary studies. So essentially, it's a three-in-one major. I'm studying animal sciences, nonprofit studies, and sociology with a focus in criminology.
All right, so I know for a lot of people out there, that's a lot of big words for us. I won't call us not smart people, I guess, since you're one of these multiple degree young ladies. Tell us. Let's break them down a little bit and tell me what the animal science. What part of that are you trying to get out of your major?
So it could vary between domestic and non-domestic animals. I could go um, essentially I could go work at a zoo or I could go work at a small animal domestic clinic. Um, Whatever it happens, whatever it boils down to, I'm excited for whatever's to come. But ideally, I would love to work as a veterinary technician. Um, Again, don't know what that'll look like after graduation, but I could go into anything from, like I said, zoo work or working in agriculture to working with domestic cats and dogs.
Okay, so I see here this nonprofit part of it, the piece that you've put in there. Do you ever see those two combining together? Maybe you doing some kind of nonprofit where you're helping people get dogs or assistant animals.
Yeah, absolutely. So that kind of the nonprofit side of things kind of inspired me since I was a little kid working alongside CEOs and founders of nonprofits, hunting, like y'all have a nonprofit, Camo Dreams, Derek Fussell is another nonprofit that I've been involved with. Beards for Benefits out in Georgia is another hunting nonprofit. So through hunting, through my dog, I had a service dog from Canine Companions for Independence. They're out of California and Florida and other places around the country. That really influenced me and inspired me to get involved with nonprofits to see because of how much of an impact sports and other things have had on me. And I really want to get involved to make a difference for other people. So that's kind of where the nonprofit side of things came from.
Well, then that's really cool that you're already thinking about other people, and which like I've told people, I've followed your life for a while and watched you go through the different things you've done in the last several years. And it's no surprise to me that you're willing to get out there and do for other people because you've been showing that for a lot of years, how much heart and compassion you have for other people. Show me or teach me and everybody listening out there. I know we're still at Auburn right now, and we also made a mention earlier about the Auburn University water ski team that you're on. Tell us, how did that love even start for water skiing that got you to want to do it in college?
So I was involved in yet another nonprofit, Lakeshore Foundation. It's a Olympic training center in Birmingham, Alabama, and I was involved with their Super Sports Saturday, which is basically they used to have a counselor led, a volunteer led program where kids would come in and try different Paralympic sports out. So, wheelchair basketball, swimming, goalball, tennis, any Paralympic sport you could think of. They would put kids in chairs or give kids blindfolds for goalball and things like that, just to get them through the motions of these different sports. And my coach, my water ski coach, Joe Ray, actually came up to me and said, "Hey, would you be interested in water skiing? I run a nonprofit organization out of Wilsonville, out of actually it was his backyard at the time." And he said, I would love to get you out on a ski, get you involved in this sport. I think you would really enjoy it. My parents were terrified at the time. I've always loved the water and loved being outdoors. So he got me out on a water ski, and you're being trailed by a lifeguard on a jet ski. Somebody is lifeguard trained, and they're riding along next to you. So it's all very safe. You sign a waiver and everything. So despite my parents' hesitation, it's all very safe and it's all very at that kid's own interest, and nothing happens without that kid being absolutely for getting on that ski, getting out in the water. So Joe actually started that love of water skiing at 7. I was 7 when I started.
Wow. Now that's a pretty cool story that, to get out there and overcome some of your fears. And like you said, mom and dad weren't that excited about it, but at the end, it's you that gets to get out there and participate in those things. So it sounds like you would really recommend that to somebody else, another kid coming up, to get out there and try it.
Absolutely. To anybody that's interested, Joe Ray runs Adaptive Aquatics. He's got a clinic, and everybody's lifeguard approved. He runs for kids that are in power chairs, on ventilators, to people that are wounded warriors, to anybody's mom or dad or sibling that's interested. Time permitting, obviously, for these clinics, he's giving the first priority to the people that are signed up, whether that be kids or wounded warriors. But that's another nonprofit that I'm very passionate about. Absolutely.
Okay. Well, now let's cover a few things with people so they know you kind of away from the skiing and everything. Some of the hobbies that you enjoy. I know because of our personal experience, I've seen you enjoy a lot of hunting. I mean, tell everybody out there listening what kind of passion you have for hunting.
Got involved in hunting at age 15. I think the first experience with that was off Outdoor Friends Forever, which is y'all's organization, and got involved with that. My dad is in career military, and he has never gone hunting before I was interested in it. So he said, "Hey, I'm willing to support you in whatever you're interested in. I've never done this before. I have no idea what I'm doing." He actually didn't own any camo, so he wore, I think, some of his old camo from the military days that he had over the years. And I was like, "Hey, I'd love to do this, love to get more involved." And so he taught me about it from a guns and safety aspect. And then I learned to hunt, and learned that passion from getting involved with nonprofits like y'all's.
Well, and that's really cool and that's kind of a piece I think that people would love to hear as well. We were just talking about, or you were just talking about, the Off and the Outdoor Friends Foundation, that you were out hunting. But then the piece that I took from that was dad. For everybody out there listening, mom and dad can be a great support group for you a lot of times when you're going through things. And dad took the initiative to jump out there and be willing to go do something he had never done before. Can you speak on that piece of your life and how much mom and dad and that support group has meant?
Absolutely. Yeah. Growing up, I'm an only child. So there was, they were a huge part of my support group. I always say that they're my two biggest cheerleaders. My mom and dad mean the world to me. They support me in everything I do, whether that's academics, whether that's sports. So yeah, absolutely. They are 100% in my corner for everything that I've been passionate about and all my interests. And I'm blessed to have their support.
Now, and along the same lines as support, you brought it up earlier, but I want people to really know about this piece of your life too, is your service dog that you had. Tell us about the dog, what it done for you, and maybe how other people, that if they're out there looking for support, again, from a canine companion, how do you go about doing that?
So the company is Canine Companions for Independence. They are a nonprofit, free to those individuals with disabilities. I believe they do everything from kids in ventilators, to PTSD dogs, to blind dogs, I believe now. So my parents put in the paperwork because I said I wanted a dog, and my mom is actually really allergic to dogs. And with my dad working and my mom working as well, they said, "Hey, we've got an interest to want to get a dog that comes fully trained." So it wasn't a puppy, it wasn't an untrained dog. And comes fully trained. You go 2 weeks on site that you do training to work with that dog, to work as a family unit. And I, as the recipient, was able to get the dog. They don't give dogs to anyone under the age of 13 because a 13-year-old obviously can't take care of that dog by themselves. So the parents are the facilitators, and I'm the recipient. I was the recipient rather, and had that dog from age 7 to age 18. So grew up with that dog, and absolutely, yeah, fell in love with the animal sciences perspective of my major, actually through him and through being involved with the vet clinic that he went to, and got to see not only their compassion for him, but also the medicine and the time and the effort that goes into the veterinary technician major. And that part of the job was very cool kind of thing that I got to see behind the scenes that not very many people see. So yeah, absolutely. Love that organization and love the takeaway that I got from that.
Wow. Now, that sounds really cool that, people that are out there thinking about getting dogs, there are opportunities. There's also, sounds like, very good opportunities to get one for free. You don't have to have, several $1,000s to go buy a trained dog. There's programs that are willing to help you with that. Now, that being said, this is going to be a very interesting one that I want everybody out there to be listening really close. This young lady we're talking to, I'm going to get her to tell you why she wants a cow of all things.
Yeah, kind of like one of the things, if you know me really well, you know that I really want a cow. It's kind of a crazy dream of mine. Ever since I was a little kid, I've always loved cattle and always really wanted a cow. It's very unrealistic right now. My parents are in an HOA in the neighborhood we live in, and I'm living in the dorms right now in Auburn, so don't have any land or any space for the cow. But actually, my pastor at church, his daughter has some land, so we're kind of colluding together and trying to get a cow for her, and she's got a photography organization, so I'm trying to push that people can come take the picture with a cow if they want to, and she loves animals, and she's got a horse and some goats and chickens and things, so I'm trying to add cow to that list.
Now, is there any specific brand of cow that you're after?
I'd love a Highland mini. That's kind of like the orange fuzzy cows.
Oh yeah, the ones that look like little mini poodles or something, like little short ones.
Yes, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, now that's something that's very unique and different about you, because you don't hear every day somebody wanting a cow as a friend to get out there and play with and take pictures and everything else. Now, we were just on the lines of talking about mom and dad as a support group and talking about, your dog as a support person. Tell other people out there listening that may be going through similar things that you are, or just going through something in general in life. What support groups do you know that are out there? Because I've heard you really be a great advocate for, people looking for support groups to help you get through things. Tell people what you know about support groups.
Well, so my mom was involved with the Spina Bifida Association of Alabama, and that's just coming from the perspective of somebody with spina bifida. Any support group that you can find, there's tons on Facebook, tons on Instagram, tons online anywhere, just to get involved with a community of people to have your back, of people that come from similar experiences. Any organization that is a support group is invaluable, in my opinion, to have people that come from similar experiences know where you're coming from, just to call up and be like, hey, I'm struggling, or hey, have you gone through this situation in your life? That's invaluable, not only for somebody with a disability, but just to be somebody growing up with a disability as a kid. Bullying is unfortunately very prevalent, and kids don't understand kind of somebody that's quote unquote different from them. Normal is relative, but having somebody that you can look up to be like, hey, this is what they have overcome. I know their background, I know their family, I know their friends. I I feel like I have a kinship with this person. I think that's very important, from an advocacy perspective and from a support group perspective.
Yeah, I think everybody needs that piece in their life, especially with what you're talking about with a disability or something that's challenging them, that piece to kind of, just put it somewhere else and be able to know that other people are going through the same thing. So mentally you can kind of departmentalize and move on and enjoy your life and not worry about everything from day to day. Now I'm gonna twist gears on you just a little bit because it's a lot of great things out there about you, but I want to get off of that page for a second and tell us something that's funny about Sarah that most people wouldn't know. Like, tell us a funny story.
Well, going back to when I first got into hunting, I've kind of got two funny stories for y'all. Um, I actually got, believe it or not, relationship advice during a turkey hunt that I went on. So it's another nonprofit, Hunters in Christ Kingdom, Tina Hick. They're a great nonprofit organization that preaches the kingdom, and I think that's another great great thing that I was like, hey, I love hunting, and so the founder connected how male turkeys go after a mate to how males in the human world are looking for a mate. And he said, you should never chase a guy. You should always look at God as the center and see if that guy is going to chase you and chase God together. So that was kind of a cool connection. And then Derek Fussell from Camo Dreams out of Florida. He's the CEO of Camo Dreams. His mom, who unfortunately recently passed away, she was deaf and she signed. She did sign language, and he communicated with her with signing. And I had to go to the bathroom really bad, and it was, like I said, my dad and I and Derek in this blind. So we were deer hunting, and I signed the restroom to my dad because I had to go to the bathroom. And my dad does not know sign language. So Derek said, hey, are you okay? Like, we can clear out the blind if we need to, so you can go to the bathroom. And I had no idea that Derek knew signing. So that's how I learned that he could sign, was that I had to go to the bathroom, and my dad and I couldn't communicate, but Derek knew exactly what I was trying to say. So that was pretty funny.
Wow. So isn't it really cool that all this different, traveling around with Auburn University, the ski teams, the U.S. team, going on these hunting and fishing adventures and things that you've been on, how many cool people you get put into your life?
Absolutely. Yeah. Another great support system is through everyone that I've met through hunting, and I keep in touch with everybody, and I think they're amazing people, and they're wanting to do big things for kids that are and adults that are disabled. So I think, yeah, absolutely, they're awesome.
Now, tell us, everybody that's out there listening, if they want to reach out and be able to ask you some questions like what you just talked about with the support groups and other ways, what is a way to reach out into the social media world and get to ask you a question?
I don't have any professional accounts, but I'm on Facebook and Instagram. If you just search my name, I'm on Facebook and Instagram there. It's kind of all my life, and you'll get a snapshot of who Sarah Switzer is. So yeah, I'm on Facebook and Instagram as Sarah Switzer.
Well, now, and that kind of leads me to our, signature series question that we use at every one of these podcasts. And you've kind of give us a great little idea in these last 25, 30 minutes of who Sarah Switzer is. But if something were to happen and you were gone tomorrow and people got to read the book of Sarah Switzer, what would you hope they read in that book?
Well, like I said, support groups mean everything to me. People, my community, my friends and family mean the world to me. So I would hope that everybody would say that I was a great daughter, great friend. I think that everybody that I have met through sports, I consider my brothers and sisters. So kind of a good sister mentality, a good friend, good Christian. I think those are highlights of my life that I want to have as a takeaway. Absolutely, that I did everything for my friends and family because they mean the world to me.
Wow. That couldn't be any better said in my book. Now, before we let you go, give us a little preview of what's Sarah's future look like. What are your goals upcoming?
Well, unfortunately, through the pandemic, skiing has kind of been put on the back burner in terms of everyone's safety. So continuing in that sport through this year and graduating, hopefully getting a job here after May comes through graduation, staying involved in hunting and hopefully being a good member of the workforce here after graduation. Yeah.
Wow. Well, I mean, I've really enjoyed spending the time with you today to kind of get to know your story and understand, which, like I said, I knew a lot of it already and really followed you because you've been a big inspiration to me to sit out there and watch you do things. But I wanted the world to know, who you were and who Sarah Switzer is and what she's got going on in her life, because she's a very great and unique story out there that everybody should take a minute and listen to. So I want to say thank you for coming on today.
Thanks for having me. Appreciate it.
You are welcome. And anybody out there listening, take a minute, check our website out, rollingwithmyspecialfriends.com. Also check us out on Facebook. We're Amazon Music, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Podbean, all your great places to go out there and get your podcast that you love to listen to in the audio, or as you are right here on YouTube watching us. Like and subscribe on that button and give us a comment. Let us know what you think. If you know somebody out there that's got a great, cool story, please drop us a line there and let me know how we get in touch with them. We'd love to get you on and tell your story. So again, thank you guys for watching us today. And Sarah, thank you for being part of it.
Thanks for having me.
All right.